What makes us fall in love and stay? I've been studying this question for the last 5 years. Not in poems, not in therapy, and not in relationships. But in funnels, spreadsheets, and click-through rates. Because today love is not written in letters. It is measured in seconds. How long you stay, what you click, when you leave. And that's what I do. Hi everyone, my name is Victoria and I work in marketing. And I know, marketing doesn't sound romantic. For many people, marketing is noise. Ads, banners, pop-ups, that ever-present video you cannot skip. But here is the thing. You know, marketing often means understanding what makes people feel connected. And I'm here today to share with you some behind-the-scene insight that I've learned. The kind of insight that completely changed the way how I look at both love and marketing. Are you ready? It is simple. The way how people fall in love with brands is similar, surprisingly similar to the way how we humans fall in love with each other. Now, let me ask you a question. Please raise your hands if you ever bought some product online just because you thought it looked cute and interesting. Oh, a lot. Now, please keep your hand raised if you tried this product and then you continued to buy it again and again. And now, please keep your hand raised again if you recommended this product to a friend. Few hands, but congratulations. You didn't just buy a product, but you entered a relationship. You can put your hands down now. Thank you. What just happened in this room mirrors what often happens in love and in marketing. Because we people don't fall in love instantly, right? In most cases. Because love is a process. It's a journey. And marketing, when it's done right, follows the very same emotional path. This brings us to the difference between like, a crush, and true love. In marketing, we call it slightly different. Like is brand awareness. Crush is a trial, and true love is brand loyalty. But it is the same journey. Imagine you buy some cute product online, let's say Labubu, on some online shopping platform. Then you swipe and add it to a cart. Then you try it, and then, if it speaks to your soul, you stick around. Welcome to the love story of consumer behavior. But now, let's have a deeper look at those stages. Step number 1, awareness, or I see you. Awareness just means the moment when something attracts our attention. In real life, it can be an eye contact through a crowded room, or a hint of flowery perfume drifting fast. In marketing, it can be a vibrant post that stops your scroll, or some warm recommendation from a person we trust. But awareness doesn't mean interest. It just means, oh, I noticed you. Imagine, during the day, the average person sees over 6,000 ads. 6,000. But not every glance turns into love. Step number 2, crush, trial, or let's see how it feels. Trial is a critical moment in marketing. It is the first interaction, the first date, the first purchase. You're asking yourself, is it really what I expected? In accordance with the Kermes retention research, over 70% of people decide whether to ever come back based on their first trial experience. And agree, that sounds exactly like dating. Imagine you meet for a cup of coffee, you check if the photos were a bit optimistic. Then you see how he or she talks to the waiter, and you ask yourself, is it cute or already a red flag? You all know this feeling, right? Step number 3, brand loyalty or I choose you. Brand loyalty is not about habit, it's about trust. Think about your life. We don't like to admit it, but modern life is full of emotional bonds with brands. I think everyone in this room has this kind of friend who will never switch from iPhone to Android, right? I have this kind of friend, her name is Anna, and Anna has been buying the sleek and minimalist iPhones for the last 10 years. Or my colleague Mary. Mary prefers the same Tom Ford electric cherry perfume. Or my grandma. My grandma is watching the same YouTube cooking blogger for the last 5 years. And yeah, my grandma is watching YouTube. But sometimes, it's not about logic, right? But it's about affection. And the same kind of affection we build in real relationships. And here is a plot twist. Because the same, like in real life, sometimes marketers can confuse attention with affection. We push free gifts, fireworks, sexy packaging. But it's the same, like you're coming up to a date in a hot air balloon and you're screaming, "Notice me, I'm here, I'm amazing." Would you feel excited on this kind of date? Or stressed? Exactly. Because in real life, people don't fall in love with the noise. But we fall in love with the feeling to be seen and valued. Now, let me show you 2 brands, 2 widely documented cases, Tropicana and Coca-Cola. In 2009, Tropicana, orange juice brand, decided to change their packaging. And they made a focus to grab more attention. Bold design, new colors. But imagine what happens. Just in first 2 months, their sales dropped by 20%. But why? The reason is simple. Loyal customers just didn't recognize the packaging they liked. And emotional connection with the brand was lost. But another example, Coca-Cola. In 2011, marketers of Coca-Cola also decided to change their packaging. But they focused on something deeper, affection. And they added one thing, just one simple change on the packaging, but it changed everything. Can you guess what? Other versions? Names. Ta-da! You're right. They added names. They added names on bottles and cans. And since that moment, it is not just a drink anymore, right? It is your bottle, it is your name, it is your drink. And that's how marketers of Coca-Cola created something that made people feel valued. So the difference, attention grabs you, but affection keeps you coming back. Because in real life, we don't fall in love with pressure, right? We fall in love when someone remembers our name, when someone respects our boundaries, and we feel safe enough to stay and not rush to decide. And brands work the very same way, because attention is loud, but affection is quiet. You know, but when attention is used without kindness, not to connect, but to control, marketing stops being as open, warm, and genuine. In real life, we call it toxicity. Not every attention feels healthy, right? It's the kind of toxicity that make you Google signs of healthy relationships at 2 a.m. I do believe that marketing reflects the best and the worst of human relationships. And nowhere it is more visible than in the beauty industry. Because beauty industry has unique opportunity to build confidence, not just demand attention. Now let me show you a few familiar faces you probably recognize and ask you a simple question. What do these all remarkable, brilliant women have in common? They're famous, okay. They're beautiful. Mm-hmm. They're admired by millions, right? They're considered symbols of beauty, but yet many of them openly said that they felt not good enough. Too thin, too big, too pale, too much, but never enough. Over the time, some parts of the beauty industry have learned how powerful emotional messaging can be. Sometimes tapping into people's insecurities instead of strengths. And the pattern is almost always the same. First, some problem is created. Let's say you have flaws. Then anxiety is introduced. You should fix them. Then some solution is solved. And then when you start to feel okay again, the new problem appears. For instance, let's take cellulite. Did you know that until 1970s, women didn't consider a so-called orange peel skin as a defect? It was just a natural feature of the body. But then the term of cellulite was introduced to mainstream media. It was framed as a medical issue. And almost overnight, anti-cellulite products appeared on the shelf. And then there are pores, and wrinkles, and stretch marks. All these natural features of the human body that became problems just because someone found an effective way to sell us a solution. And here, what the figures reveal. The global skincare market is projected to reach $194 billion by 2032. To put it into perspective, $194 billion is larger than the annual GDP of countries like Iceland, Bolivia, and Honduras. In other words, the economy of skincare is larger than the economy of entire nations. Space-level budgets are used to fight natural features of the human body. Apparently, black dots are scarier than black holes. But it doesn't make marketing evil. It just makes it powerful. And as we know from the Spider-Man movie, with great power comes great responsibility. Exactly. I think this is the moment we need to pause. Because when we look at these figures, it's tempting to laugh, to joke about black dots and black holes. But behind this space-level budget, there is something deeper, a very human desire. The desire to be accepted, the desire to be chosen, and the desire to be enough. So now, I have good news for you. I came here today with one purpose: to remind you that you are already enough. Already, right now. You don't need one specific product. You don't need to become better, younger, or more perfect. And that's exactly why my talk today is not about beauty, and even not about marketing. But it's about how easy it is to confuse attention with affection. Because real love, whether coming from a person or a brand, it doesn't rush you, it doesn't scare you, it doesn't cross your boundaries and call it care. If it makes you feel smaller, it is not love, but it's influence without consent. So, what makes us fall in love and stay? The answer is simple. Connection. When someone sees us or something, feels us, and speaks to something deeper inside us. Next, I have a challenge for you. Next time you fall in love with a brand, a person, or a product, ask yourself a few simple questions. Do I feel seen? Do I feel safe? Is it attention or affection? Is it just a beautiful packaging or real connection? Because whether we are marketing a product or nurturing real relationships, the recipe of love is the same. It is attention, affection, and a little bit of spice. Thank you.